The invitation arrived via my mother's assistant, the Harrison Family Annual Gala, benefiting the Arts Foundation. Black tie. November 18th. Your mother requests you decline this year due to scheduling conflicts. I stared at the last line. My mother was preemptively uninviting me from the family's biggest social event. The gala she'd built into a premier fundraiser attracting politicians, business leaders and cultural figures. The event she used to showcase our family's prominence. The event where I would be an embarrassment. I was 29, more comfortable in strategy sessions than society parties. I'd spent 5 years working in what my mother vaguely understood as political consulting, which she translated to struggling campaign worker who hands out flyers. She didn't know I was chief campaign strategist for Governor Rebecca Chin, the first woman governor in our state's history. That I'd masterminded the strategy that won her election against a 20-year incumbent. That political operatives across the country called me for advice. She didn't know because my work happened behind the scenes. Successful strategists stayed invisible. I'd learned early that explaining complex political strategy to my mother resulted in glazed eyes and subject changes. She'd concluded I was failing at life, an embarrassment best hidden from her sophisticated social circle. The family group chat confirmed it. My brother Derek posted, "Mom's outdone herself this year. Governor Chin is attending. This is going to be incredible." My mother's response, "So grateful. Derek, you and Amanda will sit at the head table with the governor's party. Rachel won't be able to attend, she has work commitments." Work commitments. The polite fiction. I opened my calendar. November 18th showed evening free. The governor's schedule showed the same with a note, Harrison Gala. Personal appearance, Rachel attending. My mother had invited my boss while uninviting me because I'd embarrassed the family. My phone buzzed. "Governor Chin, your mother's assistant confirmed my attendance at some gala. Said you wouldn't be there due to work conflicts. Want to explain?" I called immediately. My mother doesn't think I'm ready for that level of social event. Governor Chen's laugh was sharp. She doesn't think her daughter, who ran a successful gubernatorial campaign, is sophisticated enough for a charity gala? She doesn't know I ran your campaign. She thinks I'm low-level staff. I've tried to explain, but she's not interested. So she's invited me, the person you work for, while excluding you because you're not impressive enough. Essentially. Silence. Then, "Rachel, I'm attending this gala with you. As my guest and chief strategist. I'll need briefings on attendees, political intelligence on donors, strategic insight throughout. This is work. Governor. Rebecca. And I'm serious. If your mother wants the state's governor at her event, she gets the governor's staff. Which includes you." My assistant Marcus helped prepare. Guest list analysis, political profiles, intelligence on officials attending. We identified policy discussions, funding opportunities, relationship targets. "Your mother really doesn't know what you do?" Marcus asked. "She knows I work in politics. She's decided that means I'm unsuccessful. Easier than understanding the actual work. This is going to be spectacular." November 18th arrived cold and clear. I dressed carefully, designer gown, borrowed jewelry, professional hair and makeup. I looked like I belonged at a high society gala. Governor Chen's car pulled up at 7 p.m. "Rachel, you look amazing. Ready to crash your own family's party?" We entered together, security detail flanking us. The ballroom was full, 200 guests, champagne flowing, string quartet playing. My mother stood near the entrance, both parents dressed impeccably. Every head turned when the governor entered. My mother's face lit up, moving to greet her most prestigious guest. Then she saw me beside the governor. Her smile froze. Her eyes went from confused to shocked to horrified. "Governor Chin," my mother managed. "Welcome. She looked at me. "Rachel, what are you doing here?" "I thought we discussed." "Mrs. Harrison," Governor Chin interrupted smoothly. "Thank you for the invitation. I hope you don't mind I brought my chief campaign strategist. I find these events more productive with Rachel's insights. She's invaluable." The words landed like bombs. Nearby guests stopped talking, turning to watch. "Your chief strategist," my mother repeated faintly. "Rachel is your chief campaign strategist. Has been for 5 years. She ran my entire election campaign. Brilliant work." The governor's smile was warm, eyes steel. You must be so proud. My mother's mouth opened and closed. My father had gone pale. Guests were murmuring, putting pieces together. Derek appeared with his wife Amanda. Rachel? What? Mom said you had work. I do have work, I said calmly. The governor requested I attend for strategic support. Derek, Amanda, this is Governor Chin. Senator Williams approached, face lighting up. Rachel Harrison. I didn't know you'd be here. Governor, have you stolen her for another campaign yet? She's mine for now, Governor Chin laughed. But everyone wants Rachel. Best strategist in the state. Senator Williams turned to my parents. You must hear this constantly. Your daughter's reputation is extraordinary. Her campaign is being studied in universities as a masterclass. My mother's face flushed. More guests gathered, drawn by the governor and senator. All hearing that the woman of the evening was the family's excluded daughter. My mother's friend Patricia approached, confused. Rachel's here? Caroline, you said she was too busy. That her work schedule didn't allow. There was a misunderstanding, my mother said, strained. What kind? You told half the guests Rachel couldn't make it because she was working some entry-level job. Governor Chen's eyebrows rose. Senator Williams looked shocked. I think, the governor said, there's been quite a significant misunderstanding about Rachel's career. Perhaps we should move into the ballroom. As we moved, I heard whispers exploding behind us. The social catastrophe unfolding in real time. The evening proceeded with excruciating awkwardness. I stayed beside Governor Chin, providing strategic support. We identified key donors, discussed policy initiatives, built relationships with business leaders. I was working while my mother watched her social triumph crumble. Guests approached constantly, not just to meet the governor but to understand what had happened. Why was Rachel Harrison, the chief strategist everyone had heard about, here when the host said she couldn't attend? My mother's explanation was overheard by dozens. I didn't realize Rachel's position was so significant. She never explained it clearly. You didn't ask, someone whispered. That's different. The formal program began. My mother gave opening remarks, thanked guests, introduced distinguished attendees. When she reached Governor Chin, she stumbled. We're honored to have Governor Chin tonight, along with her chief strategist. Her voice cracked. My daughter, Rachel Harrison. The applause was enthusiastic, but underneath were continued whispers. This was the story of the evening, not fundraising totals but family drama. A daughter excluded for not being impressive enough, who turned out more accomplished than anyone realized. During dinner, I sat at the governor's table with political figures and major donors. My parents sat opposite, positioned to see me throughout. My mother barely touched her food, watching me consult with the governor, laugh with the senator, discuss policy with representatives. Derek approached during dessert, expression caught between shame and confusion. Rachel, you've been running the governor's campaigns? For 5 years. Yes. And we didn't know because no one asked. When I tried to explain, you assumed it wasn't important. Mom decided I was an embarrassment and you all went along with it. She told everyone you were working entry-level jobs. That you couldn't handle sophisticated social situations. I know what she told everyone. And none of you questioned it. He looked stricken. I'm sorry. Mom specifically uninvited you because she thought you'd embarrass us. I know. And you showed up anyway with the governor. The governor requested my attendance. I work for her. When she asks me to attend events, I attend. Even when it humiliates your family? I looked at him steadily. My family humiliated themselves by dismissing me without understanding my actual career. I just showed up to do my job. The gala wound down around 11 p.m. Governor Chin gave a brief speech praising the Arts Foundation and my mother's dedication. It was gracious, with no hint of underlying drama. As guests departed, my mother cornered me near coat check. Her makeup was smudged, eyes red-rimmed. Rachel, we need to talk. I don't think we do, Mom. You decided I wasn't sophisticated enough for your social circle. You uninvited me because I'd embarrass you. There's nothing to discuss. I didn't know. You didn't want to know. I tried to explain my work for years. You weren't interested. You saw casual clothes and decided I was failing. You never asked for details, never tried to understand. You could have insisted. It wasn't my job to force you to see me. It was your job as my mother to actually look. I pulled on my coat. You wanted tonight to showcase family success. It was just not how you expected. Everyone's talking about how we excluded you. Patricia is furious. Derek is devastated. Your father can't look at me. Maybe you should have thought about that before uninviting your daughter because she didn't enhance your image. Governor Chin appeared. Ready, Rachel? Early meeting tomorrow. Ready, Governor. As we walked out, Governor Chin glanced back at my mother standing in the entrance, looking small and lost. That was brutal. She earned it. She did. But Rachel, I'm sorry your family couldn't see your value until it was forced on them publicly. Me too. The fallout continued for weeks. My mother's social circle buzzed with the story. The family that excluded their daughter, only to discover she was the governor's chief strategist. A cautionary tale about assumptions and image obsession. Derek showed up at my office 2 weeks later. Can we talk? I let him in. He sat across from my desk looking at framed photos of campaign victories, political memorabilia, visible evidence of success he'd never noticed. I've been thinking about how many times you tried to tell us about your work. How many dinners where you started to explain and we changed the subject. Rachel, we failed you completely. Yes, you did. Can we fix it? I looked at my brother, genuinely remorseful, finally seeing me. Maybe. Do you actually mean it? If you care about who I am, not what it looks like to have the governor's strategist in the family. I care. Even Mom, though she needs time to process how badly she messed up. She can have all the time she needs. But Derek? I'm not coming to family events where I have to prove I belong. Either I'm family unconditionally or I'm done. Your family. We just forgot to act like it. Time would tell if that was true. For now, I had my career built on actual accomplishment. I had the governor's trust and respect of political operatives statewide. And I had the satisfaction that my mother's gala, designed to showcase family success while hiding me, became the moment everyone learned exactly who they'd been dismissing. Sometimes the best revenge was showing up and being exactly who you'd always been. Even when your family decided you weren't good enough.